game on Geonosis. 66 mechs up for grabs. On the north spawn, we've got AndreasG in purple. Going for bots and air mix. Meanwhile, on the south, if I zoom in there so you can see the builds a bit better. We've got Flubb in magenta or pink. Pink. It's more hot pink, isn't it, really, than a magenta? That's definitely a pink. Good old Flubb. Team pink all the way. Going again for a bots and air mix. This is Geonosis. All the mechs is in nice tightish clumps. You got some areas to defend around the equator there. You can already see the turrets getting put up in the plans from both of these players. Trying to lock down those expansions early, getting up some proxy bases as well with some factories out in the middle. As best they can. Scouts coming out from Flubb. AndreasG going straight away with a drop though. Sends out a Firefly ahead to make sure that nothing's coming for this spark that's in there. He's going to try and pick off a fab. He's going to manage it. Is he going to pick off two? It's going to be risky. It's going to be close. He could well do it. Are the hummingbirds ready? They're not ready. They're not there. The spark drops. Fab's gone. Picks it straight back up again. Oh, that was the wrong thing to do. Could have got two fab kills there. Instead, trying to go for the medivac drop strat. And following it up with a few boom bots. Oh, there's a thing sat there ready. You know. But equally we've got a dox sat here, ready to retaliate. From Flubb, just in case there's some expanding fabs without any escort. Which is unlikely, knowing Andreas. Side again, just expanding to the mechs, locking them down with the walls and the turrets. Going into bombers now too. Still there with the boom bots, ready and waiting. And again, Flubb trying to lock out these expansions with turrets. That's what you tend to see early games in this current map pool. Here we go. Ready? Ready? We're going to get one back. He's going to get one back. And it's gone. Nice. An eye for an eye. I'll make all the robots blind? Maybe? Who knows? I'm talking gibberish at this late hour. Classic. What do you anticipate? You got the vehicle proxies coming up later. We'll certainly see bot T2, I reckon, and then following up with either air or vehicle T2. Probably air T2 second, based on the way the expansions are going around and the way the air game is going into the next part of this one, with Flubb really pushing for it. AndreasG only just getting his third air factory there in the top pip. Yahoo! Another fab gone. Must be a long queue to get to that vehicle factory. Although Andreas, having locked down these three mechs, going straight into that factory there. Looking at the ecos though, Flubb just ahead, possibly due to slightly greater expansion. Andreas needs to catch up a little bit. Behind on factories and fab as well. Only just behind on army, but that's possibly because he was a little late to his third air factory. So he hasn't had the chance to build up quite so many air units as Flubb has. Here we go. Andreas trying to lock down the equatorial metal now as well. Having a bit of a scout here. Can he get the fab pick? He will. Flubb failing to micro, and the radar does not go up. Was that a worthy sacrifice of Andreas's air to kill off that fab? Quite possibly. I mean, the expansion survived, but fab didn't, and nor did all of the build queue either. Is Flubb going to care about that? We'll have to wait and see. And though comes the good old T2 bot factory from Andreas. Flubb just ahead on that front. Where are we? There we are. Andreas going for more vehicle factories in his base now, possibly for a later vehicle T2 transition. All of a sudden, from 3 air factories, we've got all the way up to 6. Only 5 operational, however. The last one not yet there, possibly needing a few P-gens before turning it on. Meanwhile on the south, though, Flubb. Gone for only 5 air factories as well. Could do with a couple more. Flubb being the air guy. Not surprised we haven't got more from him. Got more Pelicans coming up. Are we going to see Fabber drops this time? Or more Spark Snipes? We've got a couple of Pelicans, actually. So we might well see 2 Fabs being dropped to the same location to speed up a proxy. Andreas just needs to maintain control of the air. It's quite possible that they'll drop them inside this surrounded area there. No, no. Going for the air only. And he's going to find an air fab. Hello. What are you doing in here? Let's bring a hummingbird over. Or are you going to start reclaiming straight off? Ah, in we go. Was this game pre-spinner buff? I believe so. Yes, it was. It was like a week ago or something like that. I've only just got around to casting it. Jinsel submitted it. So I don't know who won based on the submission. And if Jinsel's in chat, say nothing to give it away. Finished with the T2 now is Flubb. Andreas very, very soon to follow suit. Also gone for a metal storage on the north spawn there. Flubb, though, yet to go for spinners, going more for the T2 Fab instead. Trying to get out that T2 Eco. Andreas doing a nice bit of expansion raiding there. Just towards the equator. Knocking down Flubb's expansion just a little bit. Every little helps. Puts Flubb into the red. Or rather, keeps him there. But with the T2 coming up in the base, he needs to do a lot more than just kill off the 1 or 2 mechs around the equator. He needs to find the right combination of units at the right time in the right hole. And then you'll be there. Well, hey! Docks drop. That'll do the trick. It'll take a while, but it'll do the trick. And the air is not going to last. Flubb will pursue that. He knows that he has the advantage in that respect. But Andreas now up to 7 air factories. 6 operational. All 7 now operational. Good. Got an idle T2 Fab there. Not great news. There we go. Going into the P-gens. How many have we got for Flubb? Still only 5. So if Andreas keeps producing at this rate, he'll be right back in the air game. And Flubb will realise that, and then he'll build some more air factories himself, and it'll just be an arms race. As you'd expect from the air game in PA. But with the vehicle pushes now against the expansions, they will be more efficacious at raiding, particularly against these single point laser turrets, because they will they pack a greater punch against the turrets, and they have a bit more staying power. So there we go. There's that expansion raided. Andreas needs to get his T2 eco up in his base. He's got the power there, but he's listing metal. Starting it now. Not assisting it out with anything just yet. Is Flubb assisting it? No, he's just setting it on his build, but he got it out a lot earlier. And so he's already way up ahead. Andreas should catch up though. But can Flubb make this gap right here happen? Can he exploit the fact that Andreas is behind and do a lot of raiding at this point? Can he break through? It's debatable. He's got a few units moving north, but again, it's only 1 or 2 mechs at a time. He really wants to try and take out this group of 3. These groups of 3 here. They're what's keeping Andreas alive at the moment. As well as the base, of course. And the T2 fab. First time viewer here. Welcome, Dirty Blue Jeans. Enjoy your stay. So we've upgraded the docks drop now to a slammer drop, and he's stuck. Come on, Andreas, pick him up and get him out of there. He'll get lonely otherwise. Don't want him to turn into Dr. Whatnot from Dr. Manning. Manning? From Interstellar. If any of you haven't seen Interstellar, I won't say any more. Other than, it's a good film. Go watch it. Even if you're not into sci-fi. Oh, look at that air from Flubb. It's too strong. The army from Flubb there, 40 greater than Andreas, getting a little bit of scouting over the base, sees what's going on, sees all the air factories and the increased air production. Flubb will therefore be going down on the south into greater air. Bombers coming in potentially on the fabs, managing to get a nice pass there on all 3 fabs, denying this air factory not too long before it was completed. Slammer rolling around as well, just getting a little bit of extra peskiness, irritating Andreas just a little bit. But Flubb now will be responding in kind with saying, okay, let's get up some more air factories of my own. It's Jay. Jay? Wait, Jay Jeans? How did you come across my stream, my friend? Thanks for stopping by. A little bit of an engagement here. Slammers versus Docks. I wonder who will win. Tell me about it. Ages, like years. Absolute years. Yeah. Hope things are alright with you. I haven't caught up with you in a long, long time. Drop me a message on Bookface and we will catch up. God, look at this air from Flubb. Let's have a count of that. 77 and 3 bombers versus Andreas's 46. He wants to back off there a little bit. Can he get up a T2 air factory under Flubb's nose? That's the question. And can he raid more of Flubb's metal? That's the other question. He's getting the mechs around the equator now in the air only. Continuing to build up his air. How many factories are we getting for Andreas? 13. And for Flubb, 9. Yeah, I know, right? Bookface. Ugh. Perish the thought. T2 vehicles coming up now, 2 from Flubb. Might well see some shellers and some levelers into the mix there. Hopefully some shellers. They'll be good against these rocky ravines, rocky crevasses, outcroppings, mountains. Oh, can you get the T2 fab? Oh, he does! You saw Flubb attempt to dance it a little bit there, but it was to no avail. Nice snipe on the T2 fab there. That was just what Andreas wanted. Was it worth the air sacrifice? Quite possibly. But there's another one. Another! The T2 vehicle factory going up pretty quickly there. It was probably being assisted by the T2 fab, which is why it got up so quick, and then the moment that other one died, straight up there to the expansion. Eco, though, Flubb just in the lead, and the T2 air now coming out from Andreas. Are we going to see some Kestrels? Thanks, Jake. See you around. We're going to see some Kestrels. I kind of want to see Angels and Phoenix here. Are Angels good against anti-air? Phoenix and Hummingbirds? Question. Certainly good against Galata and Flak, but they are quite slow, which is the problem, so they won't really keep up with the micro. Phil says no, Angels are bad. I disagree. Angels are good in free-for-alls when you're spamming worms and you need to kill off someone. I think Marshall wins this game. I agree. Too expensive, yeah. Again, free-for-all with bounty mode. In one of those silly awesome systems where you just have all the metal ever. Oh, hey, yeah, trade. Yeah, this is one. I know, Phil. I was theorizing. Allow a man to dream. Going up for a second T2 air is Andreas, and a second T2 bots as well. So really hammering out on the Phoenix there. For the T2 bots too. Are we going to see Locusts from Andreas? I hope so, as there is not very much defending Flubb's base. Most of his units are out and about, but Andreas is running out of time. He's got a massive docks horde here, but we've got a slammer horde against him. Does he have enough air to deal with this? No, there are spinners in there. He hasn't got a huge amount in the way of defense. In come a few bombers to try and thin it out. They managed to successfully thin it. And Flubb's been chased away, but there are no bombers remaining, so we've still got 11 and a couple of slammers in there. A few slammers coming in to defend. Can they save the T2 air factory just? Second one still going up. Andreas needs more air and he needs more ground presence, especially now that he's seen the T2 vehicles up and running. Can he see them in the base? No, he hasn't scouted. Pros don't scout, hashtag. We're getting T2 expansions quite nicely, though. All those T2 fabs rolling around. Again here, Grenadiers, pop, pop, pop. Shellers, pop, pop, pop. That would be all you need. There we go, we've got a lot of bombers coming out now. A lot of bombers. All of a sudden, bombers. A very slow second T2 factory, indeed. And a third T2 bots going up straight after that second one. Andreas, though, needs a bit more metal to be able to make that viable. Struggling for his expansions a little bit. He's still got a few missing T2, and he needs to replenish a couple of them. And maybe fight back some of the equator locations from Flubb. And if he manages that, then he'll really knock Flubb behind. Flubb there, though, falling behind in the metal game. Andreas trying to run away with the air. 37 hummingbirds against Flubb's 40. Pretty even Stevens there, but we've got some Kestrels and bombers there, mixing it up for Andreas, but he's really heavy into the air game now. Look at all those factories. We're up to... Oh, we're still at 13. Okay, so he hasn't built any more. Flubb, though, still on 9, still on 9. Was that a pelter? Yes. Nick, was it a good game, or when I say good, I mean close and tug-of-war-ish, or was it good from your perspective? That's the difference between a good game and a good game. 2 T2 Fabs getting bomber sniped. Beautiful. And that's exactly what I mean. Wrestling these away from Flubb, keeping him on the down low. The thing is, Flubb really needs to realise that he's losing out the air game and build a few more air factories. That or get some storms, and he's doing just that. If you can send me the replay ID, Nick, because I think this one's going to be the last game I'm casting today. I need a good night's sleep, so I'll do it another time. I might well do it and then upload it to YouTube rather than do it on stream. Who knows? Take people back to YouTube. Interesting. Whenever I upload a YouTube video, I lose subs. I don't get that. Thanks for the link there, Nick. Appreciate it. This air though. Flubb needs to build more air factories. He's not doing it. And he's still building a lot of bombers as well in his mix. That's the problem. He's just completely lost out in the air game, but here is his push. Going straight into Andreas's bastion on the equator, knocking him down a few pegs there. Andreas's metal is spiking a bit. Is he doing some reclaim? Yes, he is. If there's a lot of wreckage floating around, folks, get your combat fabs out and reclaim it for a nice, juicy metal boost. So here we go. Can Flubb make this count? He hasn't got any shellers in there, so he's not going to be able to pick these slammers off from a distance. That's the problem he's going to have. And he's got a lot of storms in there, an unnecessary number of storms, really, if you ask me. 5, and he's now getting surrounded in this small penned space by Andreas's slammers. And tanks too rolling in, but he's just about manages to fight them off simply because of his leveler's health and survivability. Is he pushing anywhere else as he's about to lose all of that to air? Needs to get more air factories. Is he building more? He's not. He's just gone full ham on the storms, but that's not necessarily going to get you places. Shellers, shellers, shellers. Oh, and air factories. Yeah, that would be good. I mean, he's got some form of eco, but I feel like Flubb is now trying to make pushes. He feels like, yeah, I've got enough T2. It's time to stop raiding and actually see if I can push into the base. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep falling further and further behind. Andreas just keeps building the T2 bot factories. He needs a few T2 P-gens, but otherwise he can support all of these bot factories. 5 T2 factories now. 5 T2 bot factories, that is. And 2 T2 air. One of them could well go down now, though. It hasn't been repaired from the earlier raid. Down it goes. In come the boombots, though. I see a vehicle heavy army, but the slammers are there. Are they going to focus down the boombots? They're not fast enough. Losing a few there. Nice swarm of boombots. Overcomes the slammers and weakens that blob right down, saving Andreas. But he does lose a T2 factory. Is it worth it for Flubb, though? Is he going to make it count with building his own air? He's not. And we're seeing a lot of pelicans from both players. Are we going to see some pelican comm snipes? What's going on here? What is going on here? This many pelicans. Again, look at that air from Andreas. Fly over the storms. The storms are at the back, so the payload still drops before the bombers die. And all of a sudden, Andreas has no bombers. But wait! He's got boombots against a vehicle horde. Just what you need. Boom, 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 and gone. Beautiful. And all of a sudden, Flubb's army is no more. Where is it? It's not there. It's in the air. What are we going to do? Are we going to drop some levelers in the base? Looks like it. Yeah. Where are we dropping these levelers? He's got to try and goad Andreas's air away from the base here if he's going to drop this, because there's no anti-air around that commander. Can he successfully goad Andreas's air away? Andreas does, though, have a T2 radar, I believe. Maybe not, actually. He does not. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't see this coming. Flubb just has to somehow keep Andreas's air away. Here we go. Here we go. Bring in the levelers. Bring in the levelers. There's no air here. There's no air here. Go, go, go fast. You found the comm. You found the comm. You found the comm. Drop, drop, drop. Drop the levelers on the comm. Drop them. There they go. The boombots are all there, though, waiting. And kaboom. Unfortunate for Flubb. You need something more against the boombot defended commander than levelers. Ideally something like vanguards or Manhattans. Although, actually, no. That's a bad idea. Don't go for Manhattans. And there's Flubb's GG. The all or nothing. Flubb lost out of the air game. And that cost him. Cost him dearly. And he didn't step up his air production or, indeed, his T2 land-based production there. Ending with 2 T2 vehicle factories, 2 T2 bot factories, and an insufficient number of air factories. Flubbered. Nice, Smithy. Well, GG's.